What's up, chat? Happy Friday. Hoodie Raj in the building, I think. I don't know.
No camera. People don't know.
I think they can see you. This is
okay.
I don't know how, because I can't see you, but I guess OBS is picking it up. So, whatever. What a day. What a start to this day. Holy. Raj, you got COVID? You got the Rona? Do I need to?
I definitely don't got COVID.
I might. Jesus.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I might. I'm just saying, dude. I've. This is over a week now of being sick, and today, and really this last couple of days, we've seen multiple sports leagues get hit with the big Rona, and we're seeing postponements in. Not just the NBA with the Chicago Bulls, potentially more on the way, but we've also seen the NFL move some games. I believe we said the Browns got moved. So yeah, it's getting real out there again. But tonight is being ultra impacted by the health and safety protocols. So it's gonna be weird, and there's a very good chance for us that a lot of what we're about to talk about ends up getting really flipped upside down as we get closer. Mm-hmm. But what are you gonna do, man? How you been? It's been a couple days.
Yeah, it's the usual grind. It was a good night last night on a DK. Was just one or two plays away from a bank. Had a good night, profitable 3-4x in every tournament. Just one or two guys here didn't get it done. So on to today, where it should be fun, and chase for 100K continues.
We are all playing from the same deck of cards, so while this slate might be a headache for us to play, those of you that really grind the most and have some time tonight to babysit the news, late swap, zig when others can't, or spending time with their family, whatever you would call it, it could be profitable to hang on to it. It could feel a lot like, I don't know if you play those last week of the NBA season slates where, like, backup nobodies are getting 40 minutes. Like, it might get kind of weird. We start getting some uncomfortable names in your lineup, and maybe guys you didn't know existed yesterday. But we'll try and knock it out. I don't even know if it's worth going through the entire slate news. Usually, I can dip on the key news. I guess we'll recite the key news to watch from Underdog. LeBron, AD, Middleton, LaMelo, all probable. Clint Capella, questionable. Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, questionable for the Magic. Rashawn Holmes, doubtful. And Tyrese Halliburton's questionable. That's a big one because De'Aaron Fox is out with the health and safety protocol. So I think it would be easier to go game by game on news and notes like that. But you guys know the drill, man. As stuff drops, be sure to let us know. And keep us honest. We are live on YouTube, chat. My bad for the delay. Like I said, it has been a really, really rough start to this one. Dealing with this sickness, dealing with a lot of technical difficulties, still working on a janky 2-monitor setup. And the second monitor, I have to cast it wirelessly, and it just has this knack for freezing. So multiple times throughout my prep, it was freezing, and then I just kept coughing. So it's rough over here, man. So give me some slack today. I feel bad for not streaming Tuesday and Thursday, the short slates. But I definitely wanted some content for a slate this size, and then hopefully the weekend will treat me better for for healing up. We do have an awesome stream in the morning talking some NBA, but other than that, it should be a pretty light weekend work wise, at least talking wise, other than the Discord. But hey, shout out to the chat, shout out to everybody on YouTube. You guys showing some patience. My boy Big League Stu, Damron, Josh, Gilham, Danny, Mia Moore, Patrick Reed. Remy came back over the last couple days. I saw him in VIP, longtime Viper, homie from I think Florida, was a groomer, man. That's the homie. E made it happen. Fish fans in the chat. Antoine Banks. God dang it. Raj, you got the chat open? Do some shout outs, bro.
Oh, they're out here. Okay, let me see the chat. We got the chat here. Okay, we got Ankur in the building. Shout out Ankur Malhotra, always in the building. Living with Damron, doing his thing, always here. We got a good old Fish, my number one hater and supporter. Gotta love Fish fan. He had a nice little hit on Prize Picks yesterday. I saw that. Good looking Fish. What's got here? Nathan Wagner, same last name as Mo Wagner from the NBA. You know, he's saying play some Davion Mitchell today, some Grayson Allen, little Jokic. I like it. We got Lorenzo. He's always a usual in the building, you know. Shout out Lorenzo. Quan in the building. Devin Scott saying hello. Oh, we got Valdo Marsano. What's got Valdo? I don't know if I've seen Valdo.
Yeah, he's been around.
It's been around. Okay, maybe
Oh my god, bro.
Guns just, you know, he's trying to survive out here.
Bro, this is so
bad.
might
just die midstream. What are you gonna do? I might have to lead the stream, chat.
Dude, I need you and Chronic to just do the show, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lead this stream. You know, I might have to just go game by game, break it down, and just gun for his opinions while I break this down with the Run DFS spreadsheet.
Here we go. And as projected, it looks like my second monitor. Nope, there it is. It's back. All right. Sorry, Chet. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Let's just try and knock this out, man. Appreciate you guys for being patient here. Let me get the main screen going, bro. That was quick. I didn't expect to have an episode.
A couple people want me to say their name. Taylor Steiger in the building. Steiger. It's one of those two. And we got Alex, the roommate. Alex the roommate.
Alex the roommate. All right.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that. Shout out to all you guys. My bad, chat. You know I like to show y'all love, but all right. So we're gonna try and talk a little bit slower, methodically. Let's talk some basketball here. Did I get what I needed open? Yes. Streams brought to you by RunDFS.com. We'll do a plug for that later. I don't think I got the wind to do more than one plug right now. Make sure your cam's still working, and yeah, keep an eye on chat, Raj. If you see some questions, man, call them out. And
gotcha.
I'm leaning on you. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. Heat at the Magic, Battle of Florida. Project starting five for the Heat: Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, PJ Tucker, Dwayne Dedmon taking on Cole Anthony, maybe Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba. Can't do it. He's got Hose calling. Okay, 204.5 star total, 7.5 points spread in favor of the visiting Miami Heat. So Orlando Magic do have a couple of guys very notable to keep an eye on: Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, Gary Harris. Gary Harris was kind of a surprise scratch the other day, and Terrence Ross showed up and showed out. So let's get caught up on their news and notes via the NBC Sports Edge depth chart tracker. We'll start with Cole Anthony. Kind of go from there. Right ankle sprain. He's on the injury report due to the sprained right ankle. Got it. Gary Harris is questionable with a left hamstring tightness, and Mo Bamba also questionable dealing with right ankle sprain. So non-health and safety protocol related questionables, and then we do have the entire rest of the team out. And by my math, if Cole Anthony, Harris, and Bamba couldn't go, this might get really uncomfortable for the Magic in terms of putting together a 8-man team. So gotta assume that those guys are going to be in. We do know that Michael Carter Williams, Markelle Fultz, RJ Hampton, Jonathan Isaac, Etuan Moore, Terrence Ross, Jalen Suggs, Mo Wagner, all those guys are out. So this is a very lopsided spot for the Orlando Magic. Already one of the worst offenses in all of basketball, one of the worst defenses, and they don't have many reinforcements here. So this should be a Miami Heat win for the taking, even a shorthanded Heat. Tyler Hero, you're at 7, listed as questionable. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin, all still out. Kyle Lowry, 7K on FanDuel, 7-8 on DK. Looking for the north side of fantasy point, 40 fantasy points. That's what the projection spitting back at me from this far out. And then Gabe Vincent, almost 5K on both sites. I need 30, but the projection actually does kind of like him for near 30. PJ Tucker, we kind of had that PJ Tucker debate the other day. The projection still likes him here. I don't like playing PJ Tucker, but in the absence of all these big usage guys, the Butler, Adebayo's, potentially Tyler Hero, he has shown a couple games where he has spiked up. And against the Magic, anything is possible. Dwayne Dedmon, I think, is a good stagger play to PJ Tucker. We saw that last slate where Dedmon kind of had the bigger fantasy game. So maybe if you wanted to stagger your exposure between Tucker and Dedmon, do that. But man, what are you thinking on this one? At best right now, or at least on the surface, we're dealing with a 204 total. It's going to be one of the slower paces, lower expected totals on the slate. I wouldn't be shocked if Heat went over based on the Magic shortcomings. But any front end interest from this one?
I mean, I think, so if this game does play, and let's say Cole Anthony does get ruled out, but the other two, like Bamba gets ruled, and they have enough guys, I think Point Franz Wagner could be interesting. I think he kind of played point guard here with no RJ Hampton, no Cole Anthony. We've seen some upside games from him already, but this is going to be the Franz Wagner show here. So I don't hate him if a couple of the guys get ruled out nicely. I mean, I guess for value, if you want to really go deep, does a guy like Mulder have to play 30 minutes, at 3K stone minimum, and that'll be an option. Wendell Carter Jr., if Bamba says going to play a ton of minutes. So again, if they have 8 guys, you're going to be locked into 35 minutes for a lot of these guys. So I think I'd play them, especially with no Jimmy and no Bam Adebayo for the Heat. On the Heat side, Tyler Hero missed shoot-around, so he's trending towards not playing. They're going to be shorthanded too. You're going to put a lot of minutes on guys like Kyle Lowry, who played 38 minutes past couple games. He's going to be viable. Duncan Robinson coming off of a 21 real-life points, 39 fantasy point performance against Orlando at 4,700. I like. You mentioned PJ Tucker, 4,500, and Dwayne Dedmon. I think, again, guys who are going to play 30 minutes, and who have the upside. So minutes equal money. I don't think there'll be a core play, but if both these teams being shorthanded, I think they'll definitely be in the pool.
Yeah, I think I'll have to circle the wagons once we get definitive Magic news. But yeah, they are a couple of outs away from not playing this game. I don't think that's picked up enough steam, but I believe the league min is you got to have 8 active. So at this point, if they didn't have Bamba, Cole Anthony, and or Gary Harris, it could get they might have to call it. But it is one of those Florida games, so it wouldn't be that hard to make up if they needed to. Davion Mitchell's now out.
He's questionable health protocol. I don't know if it's serious, but
how is that a thing?
Yeah.
How are you questioning?
Yeah, I know, questionable health protocol. Maybe they're just being extra. I mean, that game probably going to get canceled.
Yeah, it should. They're already like so short. Let me see if I can refresh. So, bro, I gotta get a producer for these shows, man. My stuff is struggling. This second monitor keeps going pixelated. It's rough.
Yeah, we gotta get Gun. Gun needs some kombucha juice. Get those good probiotics in that stomach, and boom.
So Holmes got rolled out. Davion Mitchell plus one. Yeah, I don't understand. Does he get an inconclusive test? Maybe is that how?
Maybe it's just. I mean, I feel like you can't even start making lineups on the slate till like 6:50.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, next game of the docket. I mean, so in the midst of all this nonsense, right? There are a couple games that do stand out. Where I want to attack, where we have some trusted studs, knock on wood. And this is one of the games. The Denver Nuggets at the Atlanta Hawks. Project 35 for the Nuggets. Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Jokic taking on Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Timothy Luwawu, Cabarro, TLC if you're nasty. Don't go chasing waterfalls, Raj. John Collins, Clint Capella. We got 226.5 total. The Hawks favored by 2.5. So, 220 plus in this day and age is less frequent than the last couple seasons. So we like that as a starting point. And then we also like that we have some pretty solidified usage guys that we can gravitate towards and have a high predictive value in minutes. And we have probably the best fantasy player in the league, Nikola Jokic, 12K on DraftKings, 11.6K on Fanduel. And then Trae Young is an intriguing run back option because he's put together a really solid string of plus games, a lot of 30 real point games with 10 plus assists. So it's really fun to think about if this health and safety protocol saga can give us a path to creating some Jokic versus Trae Young lineups and fill in the blanks with some value. Jokic is one of those guys that just, if this game stays quasi competitive, you just put 60 points in your lineup and 70 plus is a real range of outcome. And in NBA, as much as we love value and 5x and 6x, blah, 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 70 raw points, that dog will hunt, right? It gets there no matter what. There's always going to be a way to fit that 70 into a winning lineup. So I do think Jokic is going to be one of those guys I end up prioritizing on this slate because why the heck not? Trae Young is a little bit iffier of a run back here, but I like this game. It should be noted that Clint Capella is questionable. I guess we can go check out the injury news and notes on Capella real quick. But I say all that to say this: I think this is a fine game to target, especially for some stud upside. Capella is listed as questionable, dealing with a non-COVID illness. So, yeah. So, what are you thinking about Nuggets and Hawks? I've twice in the last week or so, I've tiered one 12K players, and I don't know that I've ever done that, but I did it with Kevin Durant yesterday. I've done it with Jokic in the last week, so I might get back to it if we have a slate that just gives us all this value. Is Jokic on track to be in one of your highest owned players tonight?
I think Jokic is a tier 1 on every slate. Just on every single slate, I just don't care. He's just a tier 1. Literally having one of the greatest seasons ever with the numbers he's putting up. 12K is still too cheap for him. Just a walking 70. It seems like he has a floor of 55 to 60 fantasy points. So get Jokic in your lineup every single night with all the value that's available today. He'll be easy to get to. Give me all the Jokic here. Probably not getting to any of the other pieces on Denver. On the Atlanta side, Trae Young has been killing it at 10-2. There's a couple of their studs and spots, would probably play over him. LeBron, similarly priced, people like that with guys out. But again, he's been pretty consistent. 29, 31, 41, 28 real-life points, 59, 57, 60, 43 fantasy points in his past four. In what should be a competitive game. Last game, he had 43 fantasy points, but he played 30 minutes. He played 36 before all that, so give him an extra 6 minutes, cracking the box. So against Denver, I like him to get 50, 60 points here. It could just be Trae Young versus Jokic, going back and forth. So I like that. If Capella sits with this illness, I want to say Gorgie Jang has been a points per minute monster. I feel like every time this guy started this year, there's only been early on when Capella was hurt, he was just getting it done. At 3,200, they're going to need him out there for Jokic. I could see him playing, upwards of 25, 27 minutes, getting you 35 DKP at 3,200, which you'll definitely need. So give me some of him. Other than that, John Collins, I think, is intriguing at 6,800. Might see some time at the 5. So he's intriguing. But Trae Young, Collins, and some Jang if Capella sits. Is Gunn here with me?
Yeah. They do have a Okongwu that's set to be back tonight for them. It's going to be limited, so you might see Okongwu pick up a couple of those minutes. But yeah, Gorgie Jang's an interesting call-out. Speaking of a call-out, Jim Parrish, shout out to Jim. Sorry I couldn't sell it live. I appreciate that $20 dono, man. That is love.
Hey, man.
Especially on a when I'm so beat up right now. So I appreciate that, Jim. You are a real one. Yeah, I agree.
Order some tea with that.
Maybe. I'm drinking hot tea right now, Chad. If you guys wonder what's on in the cup, it is hot tea. It's for a week now. This dude, I don't know. Yeah, Jokic could lead the entire slate in fantasy points. If we look at my early projections, soft run from about an hour ago, I did have Jokic above AD, LeBron, Cat at 62 fantasy points. I think that's a solid floor projection, and like I said, his upside is 70 plus. If this game stays close, 2.5 point spread is fine. Somebody in chat said Trae Young got engaged yesterday, so a little I don't know narrative to show out there in Atlanta. So I don't mind those two together. It feels like with this total though, I know Jokic and Trae are the easy guys to land on. Feels like maybe I should warm up to another Nugget and maybe another Hawk. Capella and Collins are both intriguing clicks. Neither one of them are or warm fuzzies. But if I let like the projections steer the way here, Will Barton 6K on Fanduel, 6,500 on DK. He's spitting back a 30 plus fantasy point projection. So being an up maybe up in pace, perhaps higher total than you might expect from an average game. Will Barton could fill a role here. And 17 against Minnesota. Minnesota game was super lopsided. Prior to that, 32-37. So maybe Will Barton makes the player pool for me. Maybe tier 2, tier 3, probably tier 3. But yeah, I think I want more than just one Nugget, and I'll try and carve out a second Hawk here. I don't know how Clint Capella. I don't understand rules, man. How are you sick and can still play in this climate, right?
Yeah.
Let's get caught up on the chat here before we move on to the next one. Nikrisi says Capella was a midday downgrade. If he's out, Jokic should continue. I think Jokic will destroy Capella either way. Capella's a really good rim protector type, right? In the paint, he can do his thing, but Jokic is just matchup proof. We've seen him go bananas on a guy like Bam Adebayo. So Raj is gonna have to suit up for the Kings now. I don't know.
I can get a couple buckets.
You think so? Everyone says that. I don't think you could.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not. Come on, it's an NBA game. I get run off the court.
You try to set a screen and get like pounced. Bill Goldberg speared.
Yeah, that's big dudes. I'm not. Hold on, don't get me wrong. I'm bigger than Chris Paul. You know what I mean? So there's some dudes you can still size up. Maybe take Chris Paul to the post.
You're not finna. No, stop.
I can post up Chris Paul.
Bro, I would love. I wish all these hypotheticals. I wish I could make one of them happen. Just
I definitely got more size than Chris. Oh, Trae Young, I'm definitely bodying.
No, I mean
Trae Young in the post.
Maybe in the post. No one scores in the post. What do you mean? I think
average,
an average person's best bet to score in the league is just to chuck a 3 and hope for a lackadaisical hand in the air.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. The post, Capella comes in, I'm running.
So some places are reporting Davion out. All right, we'll get there. If like you said, if Capella's down though, I know Gorgie Zhang does profile well. He might be the staple of the center minutes there. You might also see John Collins pick up some extra big minutes, and then maybe Danilo Gallinari can stretch out, play some more 4. So there's a couple of ways that the Hawks can kind of fill those minutes here if they had to. Moving on to the next game here, Celtics hosting the Golden State Warriors. Warriors project starting 5: Steph Curry, Damian Lee, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevin Looney, taking on Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, maybe, ? Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams. We have Al Horford out, Jabari Parker out, Grant Williams out, and Bruno Fernando questionable. I did pull this projected lineup from RotoWire. I don't know that I feel great about projecting any old guard to be in the starting lineup. We have seen a couple different paths to them, but I think the most unique thing about Al Horford being out here is the fact that also Grant Williams is out. So if they wanted to stay committed to the big lineup, they could leave Jason Tatum at the 3 and try to fill in with like a Enes Freedom. But I think because of how the Golden State Warriors play so small, this is probably the more apropos projection. It's a 216 total. You're not going to see a whole lot of Golden State games projected this low, but they have been really, really strong defensively. And the Boston Celtics have been slow in pace and okay offensively. I think the success of the Celtics will obviously hinder on the shot percentage of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. 4-point spread here, Raj. Anything standing out to you? I think sub 10K Steph Curry on Fanduel is an interesting look. I know if we look at the results, right, the fantasy point column, he hasn't been a model of consistency, but
chasing that record,
maybe, but also part of a lot of games aren't super competitive, and I guess the last 5 games have not put up a lot of real points, a lot of 105s, 90s, like less than 210, 215 totals. But the shot volume is nutty. 20 plus shot attempts, so
Yeah.
most of them are going to be from behind the arc. And I guess my point is on Fanduel, this price difference is strong enough for me to look at him as a potential tournament play that has massive upside and may have minimal ownership just because his floor isn't been as great as we know it to be. But this is still a game that projects to be competitive, 4 point spread, and Steph Curry is a guy that, floor be darned, has a ceiling that can compete with everyone else in the league, right? 60 plus fantasy points. So say all that, say this. I think at 9.9K on FanDuel in tournaments, you might be doing it wrong if you don't get to maybe 5 to 8% of Steph Curry and mass entry, because he just has that ceiling that might get overlooked. On DK, I get the pushback here. It's a much bigger risk at 11.3K. But yeah, what stands out to you about this Warriors game? Usually with the Warriors, I'm looking at Steph, and then I usually look at Jordan Poole, who is out. Is this a boost for Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green, or do you think Damian Lee can fill in some of the value here? Josh Jennings, if you're in chat, what are you predicting here? I'm kind of thinking FanDuel Steph Curry is looking really, really nutty to me at 50 plus fantasy point projection. And do you have any short end interest in the Celtics without Horford and Grant Williams? Maybe if you put this game competitive, Jason Tatum has a real chance to play 37, 38 minutes, right?
Yeah, usually the Warriors aren't a team I like to target. They've been good defensively this year. That total does seem intriguing, just with some guys out, 216 total. Seems a little high. I kind of expect it to be lower. Just kind of two teams that I think could play well defensively. Kind of be a grinded out game here, a 98 to 92 game. But if this game does go off, I know, like you said, Curry's just been kind of shooting bad past few games from 3 point, 5 for 14, 5 for 15, 3 for 14. That's not sustainable for him. He's going to have a 8 for 12 game from three and just kind of break the slate. So definitely more playable on FanDuel at that price. Even at 11.3 on DK, I think is an interesting tournament option. Damian Lee with Jordan Poole out, 3,500, could see upwards of 25, 27 minutes here. I think he can get you a 30 bomb at 3,500, which you'll take. Andrew Wiggins at 6,100 with no pool. He's going to see a little bit of an uptick in shots, maybe. Maybe take 18 shots. He's been getting you kind of 30 right on the dot the past few games with no pool. Could he get you a 35 or 40 bomb at 61? Definitely could, so I like that. And the Boston side, I think, with no Al Horford, no Grant, I mean, it could be Time Lord season. At that price tag, 4,800 for Robert Williams, you give him 30 minutes. We've seen him drop 50 bombs. The Warriors have been elite against centers. I think they're top three overall against centers.
Mm-hmm.
So at 4,800, tough matchup, but it just seems such a cheap price tag with no Al Horford. Could be double spot for him. Jason Tatum at 9K seems cheap. I mean, he was 10K, 10K plus every day just last week with Jaylen Brown back. But even last game with Brown back, dropped 42 real life points. Had a great shooting day. At 9K, I think he can get you 50 plus in this game. That should be competitive. So I like that. Other than Time Lord and Tatum, I probably don't get to Jaylen Brown at 8,500. There's just too many other guards I'm going to play today.
Yeah, I'm running a query for how the Warriors have produced from fantasy this season in the absence of, or I don't say in the absence, but with Jordan Poole off the court. So this season with Curry on, Jordan Poole off. Give me a second. I will say since the beginning of last year, Curry's been at almost 1.5 fantasy points per minute. This season, it's at 1.5 in 446 minutes. So we put Jordan Poole back on the court for Steph here. I wonder if that 1.5 goes down at all. Give it a minute, man. Everything's just going slow for me, man. I just need to overhaul everything, or get an engineer producer to produce my live shows. So check this out. This season, Steph Curry with Jordan Poole on 1.3, with Jordan Poole off 1.5 fantasy point per minute. So maybe a bit bigger boost than maybe presumed. We'll have some Marcus Smart on him. Maybe enough to put some fear in some of you guys. Not enough for me. But yeah, I think Steph Curry on FanDuel is still something that's sticking out for me. Damian Lee, the situation with Damian Lee, they have a lot of kind of floating guards here. could see Wiggins play the two a little bit more and get some more JTA, get some Iggy in the mix. You could also see Gary Payton II get some run here. So I don't know that it's 1-to-1 Jordan Poole minutes to the next guy up, but if Damian Lee is somebody that you believe could get at least 25 minutes to 30 plus, I have him for 31. It's probably a little too cheap for his potential. Just something I would have as a risky value play. Probably nothing more, nothing less. Getting caught up on chat here. From my boy Josh says the Warriors on front end of a back-to-back have to travel to Toronto tomorrow. So Kerr said he would be careful with minutes. Something to monitor. You probably see something like that. Like you might see one of Iguodala or Otto Porter play tonight and then not tomorrow. Raj, you trying to get me DMCA'd, bro? What am I hearing?
My bad.
Party at my house instead. Wiggins will have to produce. Yeah, Wiggins I think will have to step up a little bit. And I got it for 30. So he kind of feels like the same play to me, or same play-ish as like Will Barton, where you kind of expect 30. Enough to put him in the pool, but enough that you know that the floor and the risk is high enough that you don't want to get over invested in him. But I think the potential there is absolutely there here. And then yeah, Jason Tatum's a question mark. I'm thinking about it. Bucks at the New Orleans Pelicans. Next game on the docket. Projects 75 for the Bucks. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Chris Middleton, Sanjo maybe, could be Boogie. Taking on Devontae Graham, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Herbert Jones, Jonas Valanciunas. 218.5 our total 2-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. We know Giannis, DiVincenzo, Brolo, Wesley, and then Bobby Portis added to the out list. And then Chris Middleton ended up not playing that last game, and then we juiced up Drew Holiday and Bobby Portis. Today, Chris Middleton is questionable, and so is Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Let me see if we can get a little bit stronger idea on what's going on with Chris
Middleton's probable.
Okay, and then Thanasis is doubtful. All right, so Middleton being in, but Bobby Portis being out might stretch out Middleton. I don't know what what DraftKings is thinking. I really don't. But I don't know like how these prices are where they're at, right? Giannis is not a surprise out here. And it seems like whenever this scenario happens a couple times a year. You just load up on the Bucks, and if you did it the other day, especially with Drew Holiday, you were happy. Drew Holiday was one of the best plays on the slate, dropped 55 fantasy points. He went up just $400 in price, and not playing Chris Middleton, I think, went down in price, if I remember correctly, which explained that. Like, what? How? How is Chris Middleton?
He came down quite a bit too. He hasn't been 60. He hasn't been this price. I don't even know if he's been this price all season. It's the cheapest he's been all year.
Yeah, AK7. Like, how is he 6,700? So now that he's probable, Chris Middleton's probably a tier 1 going against New Orleans Pelicans. And then and I'd also say, remember, don't just dismiss Drew Holiday because Middleton's back. It is a coming home kind of game for Drew Holiday, right? And then Drew Holiday's just been really good this season in this split no matter what. We'll do the numbers here on the Add More Funds NBA Wowie tool. If you guys want to check it out, !AMF in the chat. But I guess we'll leave it since the beginning of this season and just put Giannis off and Drew and Middleton on. But no Bobby Portis is not insignificant. He does represent a decent per minute fantasy upside and some minutes that you have to replace. I know a lot of people are ready and hoping for it to be a Boogie night. And Boogie, if you like revenge narratives, Boogie was down there with AD for a bit before he had that unfortunate injury. So there's some fun narratives behind Drew Holiday and Boogie today. But just narratives aside, Boogie has at least it should be, what's the word? We can't be overconfident with how many minutes DeMarcus Cousins might actually be able to offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have that concern with Middleton and Drew Holiday. This season, without Giannis on the court, but with Middleton and Drew Holiday on, both of them averaging over a fantasy point per minute on DraftKings, and I think at their prices respectively, like there's no reason for me to not be there. I think Middleton at 6,700 is just, that's tier 1, right? 20 out of 20 lineups. Is it 20? Like, is that a lock button? the projection's spitting me 40
Yeah,
fantasy points. Like
too cheap. It's just
the
too cheap.
yeah, and I gotta expect inflated ownership as well. The numbers are the numbers here. So the numbers say 6,700 for Chris Middleton. It's just doggone too cheap. So I'm in on that. But do you have any leans on some of the supplementary bucks here? And what are your thoughts on DeMarcus Cousins? Even if we only thought he could muscle out 20, 21 minutes, I put him at 21. He's $100 above min price on DraftKings. We know his upside historically, but we also know that, hey, he played a lot of 25 plus minute games in Houston and wasn't necessarily the same guy, but he's 3,100. So this is one of the lowest risk, highest rewards per any player I can recall in the last couple of years of NBA DFS. If the minutes were his way, we just don't know what to expect, right? But what are your leans on Boogie here? And then do we run this back with some Pelicans? Friend of the show, Devontae Graham put up a 30 bomb against OKC. Brandon Ingram's back on the south side at 9K. And then J-Val on both sides around 8K looking for 40 plus. This game's quasi-stackable. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, you already mentioned Middleton tier one. I think Drew Holiday's tier one too. The Pelicans are a top three matchup for point guards. Point guards have been destroying them all year. So give me all the Drew Holiday too. Cousins, I'll probably give him like 22 minutes. I think he can get you, kind of 25, 30 fantasy points on a really good night. At 3,100, you'll take that all day, every day. But I think he will split the center duties with him. They have the Mama Gilavashvili guy. He's
Yeah,
3K too.
nailed it.
Yeah, whatever that was. But I'm saying, yeah, he'll split the minutes there. Nawara, I mean, maybe he'll play some five if they need to. So yeah, I wouldn't give Boogie, 30 minutes or so, but I think he's definitely an option, definitely in play. A guy like Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, some peripheral guys, not in love with, but I think they're definitely viable. When it comes to the Pelicans, I mean, if you think Boogie's going to play that many, 20 whatever minutes, if you want to target him on defense, J-Val should eat him up here. 8,200, back-to-back 40, 45 bombs. It's going to be the best matchup for him. I mean, it could be a 50 bomb at 8,200. I like that. Brandon Ingram has just been really consistent since he's come back, just big game after big game. You have to pay for him. Only 8,700 on DK, though. A 50 bomb at that price coming off back-to-back 50s. I like that. So I think I can bring him back with J-Val and Ingram. Probably not together, but one or the other. And like you mentioned, Devontae Graham at 52. A little bit of upside there. Could get you 35 plus, so don't hate that.
But did you see Devontae's walk-off against OKC the other day?
Oh, yeah, the half-court
Oh,
launch.
so
Yeah.
sick. So he did that kind of against the Knicks last year too. It was, oh,
He's a
that's a
sad
shot,
dude.
man. That's a shot. Shout out to Devontae. Get caught up on chat here. Dailies Mofo says, I hate when Middleton is too cheap. I actually have to think about playing him for once. Yeah, 7.5 to 8K Middleton, it definitely has some floor to it, right? High
Yeah.
35s, something like that. And then, if 35 DKP at 8K is 40% owned, yeah, you don't want that. But today at 6,700, it's just why?
Yeah.
Why DraftKings?
I actually think
Why?
that he could floor out at like 28 fantasy points. You know what I mean?
Could he though? Like I don't.
He could. I
Based
mean, Drew
on
Holiday.
what though? Like the splits, we have plenty of sample size. This isn't like we're guessing. We know what Middleton's done without Giannis this year
Yeah.
since beginning last year, the last couple seasons. Middleton's usage and per minute production is leads the charge. So yeah, I don't know. I just think 6,700 is way too cheap. So I'm in on that, and only a 2 point spread. So I'm in on that. I think Boogie's the question mark. Chat, do you guys have leans on what you're doing with DeMarcus Cousins? Last slate also, the Bucks announced that Rodney Hood was the starter, and then I think Jordan Wara started, kind of okey
Mhm.
doke. So keep an eye on those two. And then if Sandro can't go, yeah, I don't know. You might see some really weird rotations from Budenholzer. Devontae 4,900 too cheap. I don't know about too cheap. Right? Basically, think of him as 5K. You need 30, but I think 30 is very viable here. But I do like Drew Holiday. Somebody asked Drew Holiday for prize picks. Who's that? Josh says over or under 42.5 for Drew on prize picks. So I got him at 48 prize picks fantasy points. So I would say over, but I usually don't. I don't know, guys like that at that point projection. I usually don't get to. I like to deal with some of the more softer areas, or if I have a really really big margin, like 7-8 point difference. But 48 over 42 is not small. So is this a revenge game for Drew Holiday? Revenge is a strong word, but he did play a lot of time in New Orleans. I think it's one of those he loves a lot of people there, and I'm sure he'll have a lot of friends and family in attendance. But revenge, I don't think it's revenge. He got traded to go win a championship after the team and the city supported him all those years for what he was going through. Let's go home. Let's go home. Fish fan, yes, let's go. $9.99. Yo, that one came out yellow. Shout out to Fish fan.
Thanks for powering through gun. Raj holding it down.
Said Raj holding it down.
Hey, shout out, respect, Fish fan. Fish fan got the big bucks. He's always donating.
Yeah, he's the channel leader.
Yeah.
Fish fan also already has his 2022 year pass in the bag. And if you guys haven't got that yet, man, check it out. I try to make this deal as sweet as possible. $649 for 12 months. You divide 649 by 12. It comes out to like, I don't know, 50 or something like that. And then if you are a user of an optimizer, especially Fantasy Cruncher will give you $150 of site credit towards their stuff if you have a RunDFS.com VIP year pass subscription. They give you credits for every membership level that you get, but the big one is $150. So in essence, if you intend to use Fantasy Cruncher next year, the year pass would be $500 right now. So $500 for 12 months, and that's everything NBA, NFL, and baseball. And we do baseball like nobody's business, man. Right? I got that down to a science. So if you guys are looking to take the plunge in 2022, take your DFS game to the next level. Obviously, we have week passes, month passes, all that good stuff. But the year pass is probably the best bang for your buck if you know you're going to be part of the VIP. Anyway, so go check that out. It's live right now at rundfs.com. If you have questions, DM me on Twitter or in the Discord. But yeah, Fish Fan, one of the people already got it. Matter of fact, we created the year pass because of Fish Fan. He got tired of just buying month passes over and over. And he was like, yo, what can I do? How much is like a lifetime? I was like, well, I don't know. Because there was a long time where I didn't know how long I would be kind of doing this. And then it just kind of stuck with it. So shout out to Fish Fan, a pioneer in the RunDFS.com community. San Antonio Spurs at the Utah Jazz. Next game on the docket, Spurs project starting 5, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Doug McDermott, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Taking out Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert. 226 is our total. 12-point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz, one of the, or I think they're the best home team in basketball, and playing at Utah is one of the toughest things you can ask for. And this morning when I was updating team metrics, it looks like Utah has usurped. Is that the word? I know they did not. Golden State's still up there. Where did I see Utah jump? Was it in pace maybe? No, I don't know. I thought there's some category this morning I was updating and Utah jumped to Golden State. Maybe it's offensive rating or defensive rating. I don't know. Maybe it is defensive rating. Let me double check that one more time. Ever have a point and then you get halfway through it and you're like, wait, that ain't right. That was me just now. Maybe it's defensive rating. Nope, it's not. I promise it was something. Anyway, 12-point spread here for San Antonio. 9K DeJounte Murray. I like his upside here, but this is one of those potential write-off games for me, right? One of the only double-digit spreads on the slate. A lot of healthy teams, oddly enough, going at it here. So it just feels like we're not going to have a lot invested in this game. I guess you could make a case for 9K Gobert now being 8,300 on DK. But I think that kind of gets lost in the sauce, right? I think I want to go up to Jokic or maybe get down to some of the more value at center. Any priority plays for you, or even anyone that you would just have on the outside looking in of 20, like Donovan Mitchell 83, 84 is a maybe to me. But I don't think I'm there on DeJounte today. Derek White on DK 67. That's literally Chris Middleton, right? And if you wanted to get a little deeper, it could be a Will Barton, somebody like that. I think this is a write-off game for me, but I tend to always write off the Jazz. And I would also say if you do think it is a lopsided affair, maybe the pivot to Boogie Raj is Hassan Whiteside at 3,500. How many times
Ooh.
do we got to look up at the end of the night and Whiteside has like 40 and 15 minutes? Big block guy too. Just out of curiosity, 3,500 for Whiteside today. If we take a peek, a gander, if you will, 23, 44, 33 is his last three games. Now, there's downside if games stay competitive. You can get under 20, but there is some upside if you make the spread lopsided. The last three games were 10-point plus spreads, and he's gotten you 20 to 30 plus, and at that price point, might be something to think about in bigger tournaments. Anyway, any interest in this game? Or are you thinking about writing it off like me?
Like I said, I think it's mostly a write off. But this is one of the few games with no COVID situations. They all kind of got everyone's in healthy, ready to go. So there are all the other kind of spots where you can get guys with other guys out. I don't think this game's a target. Utah being an elite defense, San Antonio being above average. It's a game I can avoid. You mentioned Mitchell at 8,400. There's definitely room there for him to get a 40, 50 bomb, which he'll take, but definitely no core plays by any means in this game.
So apparently, Russell Westbrook has been upgraded to available.
I'm out. What?
What is that? What even is health and safety?
Okay, so I guess you can just clear protocols in less than 24 hours now. This must be a new thing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the context of this. Like I said, I don't know if this is a wave of Thanksgiving, a wave of booster shots, or what. But apparently, Russell Westbrook health and safety protocol is now available.
Everyone who bet the over on LeBron and AD. Oof,
I
not
wonder
looking
if
too
that
good now.
line moves because it was pretty tight.
I want to see, did
Because
they take it off?
I had it as a pick 'em, and
Oh,
Minnesota was without Edwards, right? So, oh yeah, I wonder if the Lakers take some points here on the line. This is what a slate, dude. Like what a
yeah.
slate. Oh my goodness. Anyway, what else we got in chat? Josh says I'm also making an opto that uses run DFS data to generate optimal lines. It's almost done. Let's go. Yo, Josh, do you know how to manipulate in that middle? If you have history with API feeds, I really need someone that can figure out this API feed that I'm trying to get set up to make our prize pick stuff a little bit easier. DraftKings overwhelmed by COVID stuff and pricing adjustments. I'll mainly just prices for them. Yeah, I don't even I don't get me started on DraftKings. Love Mitchell. You like Mitchell? I'm with that Arizona. I definitely don't mind looking at games that no one else is looking at that still have some potential, right? If Derek
Yeah.
White, DeJounte kept this game into it, it is what it is. But I also like to narrow down, bigger slates to 3 or 4 games if I can. And I just feel like the largest spread in a spot that I don't like to pick on. That's a candidate for me, but that's the beauty of this, man. Everyone has their own strategy, and as long as somebody comes back tomorrow with some screenshots, I'm happy. What up, Bernard? Uh, RT-PCR tests aren't meant to test for viruses. Players took the vaccine. It's going to show positive. Yeah. No, I'm with that, Bernard. Like I said, I think there is a way from like Thanksgiving and stuff, but there's also like a booster shot effect for guys that are getting that. But I don't know. I don't want to create conspiracy. For some reason, when people start talking about this, it's just like conspiracy theories and all kinds of bad opinions, and I stay away from that. I just let the powers that be handle it. But let's talk about the next game. Lakers at the T-Wolves for X75 for the Lakers. I guess now you would say Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, AD. Now, I had put a lineup that had DeAndre Jordan starting at center, but if Westbrook is available, they'll probably move AD back to the 5 here, and you might see Wayne Ellington and Austin Reeves in the mix. So keep an eye on that. I don't know what's going on. The T-Wolves project starting 5, Patrick Beverly, D'Angelo Russell, Josh Okogie, Jared Vanderbilt, and Carl Anthony Towns, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. We had a 220.5 total with the pick 'em. Some sites had the Wolves having that home hook. I don't know if Russell Westbrook will move the needle here that much. I guess we'll know in a couple of minutes. With no D'Angelo Russell, or excuse me, with no Anthony Edwards, we can put a lot of potential usage on D Russ and Karl Anthony Towns. Both these guys at price points that they have some upside in. The projection like them. D Russ, I got back 45 plus fantasy points on both sides, and Cat, I got back 50 plus fantasy points. Crossing up with his old college teammate, right? So I'm with getting to both these guys at a decent clip. And then Patrick Beverly, my algorithm, excuse me, my algorithm did like Patrick Beverly here. At 5.6 on Fanduel, 47 on DK. I'm getting back nearly 40 fantasy points as the projection here, making up for some of those Anthony Edwards minutes. I think the projection is probably a little too high for what we know Beverly game to game, but we have seen him spike. And if Westbrook's going to be in, it's a potential boost for him going against this arch nemesis in their torn meniscus history. But a lot of turnover potential from Westbrook as a ball handler. So maybe Beverly's in it. Maybe the T-Wolves are three-man stackable, maybe even more so. We talk about Taron Prince being out. Jared Vanderbilt does benefit from that. He's a guy that usually gets you 25 minutes as a floor, and in those 25 minutes is a massive point per minute because he gets all the hustle stacks. Not a big shot taker, less than 10 shots per game, but he stuffs the stat sheet, and a lot of times those stuffed stat sheets end up in 30 plus fantasy points. So if we can get to him at 30 plus minutes again, I think he fills a need for me. I think he's priced appropriately. Maybe not a lot of meat left on the bone, but no Torrent Prince can only be a good thing for his minutes. So I'm in on the T-Wolf stack here. I've been stacking against the Lakers all year. I was in on LeBron and AD about 10 minutes ago, but now that we have a full strength Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis lineup, price wise, we got AD at 9,400. I loved that 10 minutes ago. We got LeBron at 10.4, and then we got Westbrook sub 10K on both sides. Feels like they're not off limits. I think their prices are coming down to some obtainable spots. Maybe I set a rule to not have more than one or maybe more than two of the big three in a lineup on Cruncher. But what's your lean here? I want to be at this game, fantasy wise, not in real life. But what are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I think D'Angelo Russell, I mean, with no Anthony Edwards, great spot for him. Going to have all the playmaking duties, bigger scoring load. So love him in the spot. Karl Anthony Towns, too. I think walking 50 bomb. The Lakers haven't given up on the inside. So give some Karl Anthony Towns here in the spot, too. Like you said, with the Lakers, with Westbrook back, I might just kind of avoid all three of them again with these other studs.
Remember they had signed Isaiah Thomas, didn't they?
They
So,
did. DeAndre
so
Russell going to see some Isaiah Thomas defense? Give me all of that. Give me all of that. So I
um,
mean, I think the Minnesota side it's the side you want to target with the Lakers. The three studs are there. Guy like Malik Monk maybe gets a few more minutes with all these guys out with COVID. But other than that, I
so
wouldn't tier one any Lakers.
yeah. We also got Kendrick Nunn ruled out earlier. So yeah, maybe tier one's not. We're not tier oneing them, but I think there's a path. I think there's a path for AD for me, especially if I can put DeAndre Jordan back to the bench, which I probably will. Put AD at the
Mm.
5, LeBron at the 4. We're probably getting a Wayne Ellington, Austin Reeves lineup. Reeves with that game winner the other day probably kept another start, and then Westbrook, and then yeah, yeah. Austin Reeves at 3,300, by the way. You get that in your player pool at all? Do you get that, like, I don't know, Damian Lee type click next to his name? 32 minutes against Dallas, 25-28. Remember, no Taylor Horton Tucker. I guess with Malik Monk, it would shake things up
Yeah.
if he's for sure in. I think we saw him available. So I guess that would push back a little bit. But with no
Hmm.
Taylor Horton Tucker, um, that's I guess I don't know. I guess I can push back on that a little bit. I won't try and force that, but I don't know. I mean, based on projections from an hour and a half ago, I was gonna play him, but I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Patrick Beverly, what are you thinking?
Patrick Beverly. I mean, not running to play him. I get the play with no Edwards, but it's 30 minutes, 4,700. Not a tier one, but if you want to tier three him,
I
sure, but I just think there'll be guys who do the same role as him at like 3,700 today,
I
35.
think you might sleep on. I know Beverly. We don't think of him as a ceiling guy, but I think you might be sleeping on him as a potential ceiling guy. Now, I'm not gonna call it triple double, but he has that type of play in him, right? Like he can go out there and just fill up a stat sheet. You almost expect, against a Westbrook offense, 2+
Yeah.
steals in the steal column. The assists will be there, and without
I,
Anthony
I will
Edwards.
say, yeah, he's getting more assists than he usually does before. Like his playmaking, especially with Edwards out, has been a little more elite this year. He's had quite a few games with 7, 8 assists.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm gonna try and put myself a little bit higher on him than I expected to be. I guess for the T Wolves here, it's fair if we maybe run some numbers without Anthony Edwards, just to get some tangible numbers. So we're not just saying, hey, the usage obviously goes up. Well, obviously, yeah, but I'm gonna put some numbers attached to it. Let's put D Russell on, worse, D'Angelo Russell on, Karl-Anthony Towns on, and then we'll also tighten it after the first run to add Patrick Beverly. But this season, with Edwards off, D-Russ Cat on the court, we have a sample size of 53 minutes, not much. In those minutes, D-Russ at 27%. Usage rate, Cat 41%. Cat's almost 2 fantasy points per minute, 1.8 to be exact, 1.34 on D-Russ. And Beverly in this split, 1.3, but just 14 minutes. So really no sample size of the big three being this split up. There was a stretch earlier this year where D'Angelo Russell was down. And yeah, so I think we just have to trust the usage, trust the minute projections, and we'll get it tightened as much as possible between now and lock. But I think Cat and D Russ are big plays here. Where do we tier them? Tier 1 or 2?
Tier two, probably tier 2. Yeah, I want to say D'Angelo Russell on PrizePicks. His over under for real life points is at 21. I'd probably hit the over on that.
All right. Any more underdog bombshells here? It's been killing. Appreciate chat for real. I appreciate you guys keeping me on. That's how I found out. I just keep an eye on chat. So if more stuff drops, man, put it in chat. You guys are real ones. You guys would be realer ones if 100 of you guys hit that thumbs up. We got 44 likes out of almost 150 viewers, man. Smash that like button if you're not subscribed. Hit that subscribe. This sickness has caused me to miss, I don't know, I guess altogether probably 4 or 5 streams now. So my lofty 6K subs by January 1st goal is dead and stankin'. Where's my phone? But we did.
Miracles are possible. Christmas miracles are possible.
Maybe I would need like everyone to tell a friend. So we're at 5,701 subscribers. So
You gotta plug this on the Osmo stream.
No, I don't like self promotion.
Hey man,
it's not what I do. Anyway, 5701 is our sub count right now. So if you're out there lurking, if you're vibing out, I try to be a little bit more witty and entertaining when I'm not sick. So if you're into corny dad jokes, hopefully next week we'll be back at it. But if you're not subscribed, that red subscribe button below is lit up. Hit it. It's free, and you'll get these daily NBA live streams. And then we'll have more content in the new year. Of course, baseball content as well if you guys are trying to transition into MLB DFS. So 47 likes, 49 likes. If we can get that to 100, you guys would be the best YouTube chat in all of the DFS land. The Charlotte Hornets at the Portland Trailblazers. Next game on the docket, projects 35 for the Hornets, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, Mason Plumlee, taking on Damian Lillard, Norman Powell, Nas Little, you can hate me now, Larry Nance, and Yusuf Nurkic. We got 230.5 total, 3-point spread. Favor the home team, Portland Trailblazers. So the Charlotte Hornets, man, they were going through COVID before going through COVID was cool. And now they're done with it. It looks like LaMelo Ball upgraded to probable, had some conditioning concerns, but sounds like he's going to give it a go. So we do have a Hornets team that all season long have been a team that we like to target because they run such a fast pace. They're pretty doggone good at offense, but they're also pretty doggone bad at defense. So when you get a team that can create the pressure for the other team to answer back, and you can create extra possession. Charlotte, top 5, top 6 in pace. It's usually a spot that I like to attack. And then the Blazers are short CJ McCollum. So we open up some usage and opportunity, and Damian Lillard has 40 to 50 plus fantasy point potential. We've seen some 50 bombs finally out of him last couple slates. So if we keep this game competitive, and the spread kind of suggests that it should be, I think we have a potential stack spot for the Blazers. Excuse me. Damian Lillard leading the charge here, looking for 50 plus. Like I said, 52, 47 last two out of the last 3 games. Memphis is a tougher defense. So is Phoenix for that, and I guess Minnesota to an extent. Wow, he's really had this last 5 games, bro. They're like top 10 defense teams. Golden State, Utah, Minnesota, Phoenix, Memphis, and he's muscling his way through. So let's pick up the pace here and let's soften the defense. I think Damian Lillard has a ceiling on him tonight that's worth going after. I like his Fanduel price a lot more. Larry Nance Jr., 5K-ish on both sites. I'm looking for 30 fantasy points. They shook up the starting lineup. Chauncey Billups did. They're still not winning, but they're at least trying to shake things up. And I think this is a lineup that maybe gives them a little bit more firepower. And then Norman Powell at 6,300, kind of feeling like that Gary Trent position on Portland, right? He's going to play minutes. He's going to take shots, and in the right spot, he's going to produce. We saw him drop 50 plus fantasy points in the last couple games. And I think against the Charlotte Hornets, they give you as much ceiling as anyone, 49, 34, 34, 36. So Norman Powell has a real shot to be high tier 2 for me. And I don't think I get him to that tier 1 yet. We'll see if the ownerships make me force a move here. But Lillard, Powell are looking good for me. Nance is looking good. And then me and you, we had that little Yusuf Nurkic conversation. I think Yusuf Nurkic is a 30-minute center right now. It wasn't that many weeks ago. We kept saying if Yusuf Nurkic got 30 minutes, he'd be one of the best fantasy centers in all of basketball. And now he's there. To paint a picture here, I guess, we'll just put it up. Remember, Cody Zeller's out, and one of his backups getting some center run was also Larry Nance. So with Nance in the starting lineup and Cody Zeller out, there's a higher allotment of minutes to be available for him. There was that 21 minutes against Minnesota, but he had 5 fouls. So in games where he's not in immense foul trouble here, real 30-minute opportunity has been there. And I think if you give Yusuf Nurkic 30 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets, the ceiling is the roof, right? 40 plus fantasy points is a real outcome, and we've seen them kind of muscle that in tougher spots in the last couple games. So the Blazers become pretty stackable, in my opinion. And then the Charlotte Hornets, there was a stretch here where maybe we got guys overpriced. Kelly Oubre had been 8K plus. Terry Rozier was up there as well. Starting to get a little bit more back down to earth. I still wonder if it's still too high collectively to make any of them a priority. But Gordon Hayward at 68, you could see a ceiling for that. But again, that's Chris Middleton, so I just play Chris Middleton. Terry Rozier 68, same thing. LaMelo Ball, you're worried about conditioning. Does he come right back in for the 37-minute game? Probably not. Got him about 30 minutes. So I really see a reason for me to prioritize any of these Hornets players. But the Blazers are looking pretty thick. 2 C's, no K. What are you thinking?
Thinking Damian Lillard's going to be the highest scoring guy of the slate. He's going to tier 1 him. He's going to ride or die with Damian Lillard today. If CJ McCollum got ruled out, at 6 o'clock, 6:30, everyone would be running to play Damian Lillard at 9,300 against the Charlotte Hornets. Literally the team we've been stacking against all year. You mentioned past matchups. 4 of the past 5 elite defensive matchups. Memphis has been a top 5 defense since Morant went down. Phoenix right there. Utah top 5 defense. Golden State top 5 defense. And he's getting it done. He's chucking the shots. It's had some poor shooting nights against these tough defenses, but still getting some peripherals. So against these Hornets, I would pay 10-5 for Lillard against Charlotte. So at 9-3, give me all the Damian Lillard. You mentioned Nurkic. I think I'll probably tier 1 too. 7,300. I might give him 32 to 35 minutes here in a competitive game, running up and down the court. Give me all the Nurkic here as a tier 1. Lillard, Nurkic. If I'm really high at those guys, I probably don't get to some of these kind of peripheral pieces. Powell at 6'3", I think is priced a little too high. Nance at 4,700 is intriguing. He's a guy that can really kind of stuff the stat sheet. If you give him 30 minutes, he can get you not a triple double, but 12 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds kind of deal. So I think at 4,700 there's some upside there. Charlotte side, I just think they're still priced to where LaMelo should be out. So I probably don't get to anyone here.
I don't think they're as strong for price wise, right? I think we saw
Yeah,
Oubre 8K plus. Like I think there's still a ceiling on a couple of these price points, but I don't think the risk
sure.
reward is balanced enough versus the alternatives
Yeah,
out there at each price point.
yeah, exactly. The alternatives today are just too strong. So I'll probably get to no one on the Charlotte side, but Lillard and Nurkic tier 1 for me, absolute smash spots.
Let me get caught up on chat here. I brought chat up on my phone, so that's why it looks like I'm not that guy at church on his phone. I'm reading my
Oh, yeah,
Bible app, bro. That's what it is.
Obama rolled out.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here.
Right.
So I was worried. The more people the Magic don't play, the likelier it was for maybe them to call that game. But it sounds like they started signing
They signed
some
4 G League
10
guys.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says Aleem Ford, Hassani Gravett, BJ Johnson, Admiral Schofield. He used to play for the Wizards, I think. The 10-day contracts with the Magic. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what that does for tonight. I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules. I don't know
And it means
I don't know the rules.
we're going to be locked into Franz Wagner 40 minutes, 35 minutes. The Wendell Carter Jr. 40 minutes.
Maybe. It's the Miami Heat, right? Am I running? But I guess it's not.
It's
not the same
yeah,
Heat.
exactly.
Right?
Not the same Heat. So I think they can definitely attack some of these guys.
There's some Rolo in your life.
What is Miami's defensive rating without Bam? They've been gone for a couple games now. Do we have a sample size to?
I mean, you just look at the scores from the last couple games. It's not anything insane. Don't worry, Admiral Schofield is here to save the slate. I think I'll be off of Jokic, going to more balance. Has been working. I could dig that Arizona drama. Usually, if Jokic only got you 60, you need more than just Jokic to deliver.
Yeah.
But I do think this slate's given us some value to where, like I said, if any player gets 70 plus, the raw points are probably going to be at the top of the field. But yeah, it's really easy to navigate some balanced lineups, and it's just off of the top of my head, right? With Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton is way too cheap. The Portland Trailblazers offer some really lucrative opportunities at their suppressed price points. T-Wolves and some price points without Edwards. There's definitely a path to a solid balanced lineup. But I do think there's a lot of value, and a lot of that may come from this next game. Before we talk about that, let's take a pause for the cause. We haven't plugged PrizePicks. We did the year pass plug, but we haven't plugged the PrizePicks. So let's do that. If you guys are out there, you know the drill, man. PrizePicks.com, one of our better sponsors. Great endorsement from them. They're an extremely fun site to play, and I've seen the wave of DFS grinders in the Discord really become having more fun on PrizePicks. Is that crazy to say? It's just you can really isolate some more picks, control what you can control, and it simplifies DFS. So you can still have all the fun of researching every slate game by game, understanding the matchups, understanding the projections, and then that research doesn't get vaulted in 10 minutes before lock when 5 starters get ruled out, and then you don't really play those guys. But PrizePicks will let you really reward that research that you're already doing, especially if you're a Fanduel player. I highly recommend it. It's basically prop betting with a little taste of parlay, but a lot of DFS influence. Check it out. If you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. So $100, $200 right off the bat. No slow drip right away. And then you got to do the whole 100. Do a $20 bill, test it out, see what you think. If it's for you, if it ain't for you. Their user interface is really, really friendly. They're getting better and better. The month I've watched this company grow in the last year, so I think you'll like it. I think those of you that have been playing the last couple of months have seen some progress in their site, and they're coming up with a search bar soon, so that'll be really fun. And then if I can ever figure out this API, I'll be able to do a little bit more with them. But so for instance, today for NBA, this is what their board looks like. They let you attack individual projections for players' real points, rebounds, assists, fantasy scores, which is the same scoring as Fanduel. 3-pointers made and free throws made. Every one of those categories, I have a projection for in the player props tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. And you guys can compare my projections to theirs. If you trust me a little bit more, you might go with it. I like to find some real big gaps between my fantasy point projections and theirs. A lot of times I could find 6 to 10 point differences, and I'll lean on those. I like the fantasy points. I say this all the time, but every day I see people in the Discord, man, they bet the 3-pointers or the assist prop, stuff like that. They're winning big. Just yesterday, Fish Fan posted a really nice ticket this morning. I woke up to, he hit 5 for 5, I believe. So shout out to him. But we've seen, I think Logan, I watched him build a bankroll into the thousands on PrizePicks. Chronic, your first night on PrizePicks was really big, right?
We hit $1,000 bankroll second night. Yeah,
it's fun,
yeah.
Right? Obviously, be responsible.
That's fun. Yeah. Still be responsible,
but it's fun, and it's a way to simplify things. So, I think
they make you be responsible. They have limits, and I try to up my limit. They're like, you got to play more.
Yeah. So go check that out. We're at 170 viewers, man. That's huge. I appreciate y'all, because this was a stream that was questionable, but we're only at 65 likes. We have 100 more viewers than likes, man. That feels like we could do better, man. If you guys want to increase your luck tonight, I promise you, it's been scientifically proven. If you hit that thumbs up, your odds of cashing big tonight exponentially increase. So why not? Like, Memphis Grizzlies at the Sacramento Kings, your main event tonight. Project 35 for the Grizzlies. Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Stone Cold, Steven Adams. It's gonna get you one board. What? Taking on not Davion Mitchell, right? Did he get rolled out, or is he still questionable? Tyrese Halliburton. They're taking on the Kings, and we don't know who the F is playing. But I think what we do know is Buddy Hield, right? He's one of the only names I didn't have. I had Halliburton questionable, Metu. So I'll refresh the injury report. This is a game that I think has a real chance to get postponed as well. I was worried about Orlando, but I guess Orlando is signing 10 days, so I guess that would be kind of the process for Sacramento. And the NBA's been granting hardship 10-day contracts. Was it Chicago? They had a hardship, and they got like Stanley Johnson, and then he got COVID or something. So
it's crazy.
It is crazy out here. But yeah, the Kings could get really, really weird. So I'm gonna try and find a narrow guess on who is active if they did play. But this is one of those spots where you're gonna want to be vigilant tonight, because this might be news that comes out staggered time-wise, and we may just not know. So Davion Mitchell and Tyrese Halliburton, I think, are the keys to this game. One, playing, and two, being competitive. Because if we don't have Fox, we don't have Mitchell, we don't have Halliburton, we got Buddy Hield and the Sunshine Gang, right? And it could get ugly, and the Memphis could repeat what they did to OKC, right? Davion Mitchell has entered the league's health and safety protocols, considered questionable. How? How does that work? And we know Fox is down. Tyrese Halliburton has a Q tag on him. He's dealing with back soreness. Chimezie Metu's questionable. Holmes is doubtful. And then Alex Len is out. So Tristan Thompson, in the absence of Holmes and Len and Marvin Bagley, might get to one of the biggest minute projections I've put on Tristan Thompson since he played for Cleveland. And I got him at 30 right now at 3,800. So even if the matchup isn't pristine against Steven Adams, points I've typed in Cleveland, the points per minute, minutes equal money, the opportunities there. I know we talked about the romantic click that is DeMarcus Cousins and Hassan Whiteside, but if you just want to solidify some minutes here, it's hard to not get Tristan Thompson near a 30 fantasy point projection, or 30 minute projection. And if you can get a point per minute on him, and we've seen that time to time, I think Tristan Thompson becomes one of the more interesting plays on the slate. Might see his ownership trend upward, and if you were scared to play him now because you thought the game might get called later, maybe you late swap that into a Whiteside or something like that. Raj, what do you do with these Kings? Let's just say Mitchell's out. I don't know how you're in protocol, but questionable. But I guess we saw Russell Westbrook get rolled back in, so I guess it's not impossible for Mitchell to play. Halliburton with back soreness, man, you might have to gut it up. What do you do with this if this game gives us what we're looking at, or at least Buddy Hield, Halliburton? Let's just lean on those two with no Bagley, no Holmes, no Fox. Somebody says Buddy Hield's birthday if you care about that. Are those two guys that you actually make a strong stance on, or is this like the Grizzlies on defense have been a problem, man? When you take John Morant out, like the defense got better. I don't know that I trust the Kings and Alvin Gentry to keep this game close no matter what. And is this just fool's gold if we?
I mean, you don't have to trust them, but Buddy Hield 5,100, 37 minutes. You know what I mean? At some point, like you said, minutes equal money, and the matchup almost doesn't matter. I mean, these are still good NBA caliber players, still starting caliber players on the Kings. These aren't G League guys. So, even if you want to give them only, let's say, 90 to 100 points, if Mitchell being most likely out, Halliburton, still being questionable, even if Halliburton plays, I think I love Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes. 5,700. If 37, 38 minutes, they might have floors of, 28, 30 fantasy points, upsides of 40, 50. So you just got to love these spots here. If Halliburton plays, I'm going to Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Barnes. I mean, those three guys combined their salaries, 5, 10, 15, 15, 8, take the one, 15, 9. So you at 16,600, you get three guys. We're all going to play 40 minutes. And
did you just do that? That's impressive. Yeah. Okay, let's go, Raj.
16,600, and you can get 120 fantasy points off that. You know what I mean? That's just insane.
So that sounds good. It sounds good. This is part of the last 3 games on the slate. We're not gonna have that information. We're just.
I mean, hey, yeah, you're not, but you want to take something down. These are the type of risks you're gonna take. So even if Halliburton, the only news we're really waiting on is Halliburton now. Right, so whether he's in or out,
no, Davion Mitchell is not for sure.
He's doubtful.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doubtful.
All right.
Doubtful.
I had him questionable in protocol.
Yeah, I read that too, and then some of the other on Twitter, I was saying doubtful.
I mean, yeah, I would assume that's closer to out no matter what. But all right, so.
Do they have enough guys? We got to make sure that's a thing too first, I guess.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think there's a real chance this game kind of gets heave-hoed. All right. So what you're bracing for is hoping that Halliburton and Hield are in.
Hield is fine, right? There's no tag on him.
Right. Hield is the guy that has nothing.
Hield and Barnes, yeah, nothing there. It's and just TT. Halliburton questionable.
All right. TT 3,800. Would that be a core value play for you?
Against Memphis, against Steven Adams, probably not.
At 3,800 though, I know, I get it. Matchup, two paint guys. At 3,800, man, there's a lot of opportunity at that.
I mean, you think? But how many minutes are you going to give him? I wouldn't give him 30. I give him 20, and then Damian Jones sees 15, 20.
Okay, that's
you know what I mean. So it's
for a guy who just did math, that's not 48.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna replace 48 minutes,
you got to replace Rashawn Holmes, Alex Len, and Marvin Bagley.
Holmes has been out. Yeah, I guess Bagley too, and May too. Oh, you're right. I think Harrison Barnes is playing 45 minutes. So I might just lock Harrison Barnes in.
I don't know how we would be that confident. I know historically he's been a high minute guy, but ever since coming back from his injury, he hasn't been leaned on for minutes. 32 has been his max so far. So
yeah, but I think that's because the rotation has been, guys were, Bagley, Maytu, they had more guys in the rotation. So yeah,
I don't know how TT I got him at 30. I don't feel confident because we never see him play 30, but as far as what the team needs, TT is a 30-minute projection for me. So if you knew for sure right now, 30 minutes was TT's to take.
I wouldn't tier 1. I would tier 3.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe. Core value. Wait, you wouldn't? You said
I wouldn't tier 1. I wouldn't tier 1. No, I wouldn't tier 1. Just tops on this slate.
3,800. Bro, I watch people I don't know. I don't know. It's Dwayne Dedman, right? Like if it's Dwayne Dedman,
Yes.
they literally tier one him, and it's not like it's a feel great play, but the price for the minutes is just
I mean,
too
he's not
good.
really playing any four. He has to play all the five. Holmes has been out. Like I don't see him getting a lot of the Bagley made 2 minutes.
I
I
mean,
could be wrong, but
there's 30 center minutes to fill, man. And the Memphis Grizzlies, as undersized as they allow amongst the most blocks per game. TT can get you some blocks,
mm,
so I don't
I
know, man.
mean,
I think it's a better spot than the perception for TT.
I was. I mean, I might go Mo Harkless over TT.
You're too far gone.
I don't know what I'm saying. I
I'm
mean,
gonna let you float away, bro.
Mo
You
Harkless played
stop
this many
it.
minutes.
I can't.
Mo Harkless could play some four.
Stop. What? No, no.
Well, definitely.
We're not even close. Like we're not even close, bro. I think TT is slept on from what his offensive skill set. A lot of people just remember him as the clean up the dunks for LeBron, but don't forget TT when everyone was gone, he was playing 35 minutes in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He was putting up some games, man. So I don't know. We're so far apart that I'm not. I literally don't have the win to debate that in asinine Mo Harkless call out that you just made.
Okay, it's not Mo Harkless literally might play
No,
30 minutes today.
stop.
Right? He literally might play 30 minutes today. I don't know why I acting like Mo Harkless ain't
I
gonna play
can't.
minutes.
I don't care, man. I would take
Yeah.
25. Stop.
We've seen Mo Harkless take down some slates.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like Malik Monk just got rolled out. So that would maybe I was trying to formulate an opinion on Austin Reeves, and if we continue no THT, no Malik Monk, Austin Reeves looks like he could have 30 minutes there for him. I guess Isaiah Thomas would get run just to see what he's got left in the tank, but I don't think that would necessarily take away from this Reeves projection. I'm gonna have to do some sweeping on the projections when I get off the air.
Hey, chat, man. Let's hit that like button for Mo Harkless. The disrespect to Mo Harkless is getting a little much. I'm telling you.
No, it's not.
30-minute Mo Harkless.
Stop. What does that mean, bro? It's Mo
Taking the
Harkless.
GPP down.
He's like
Exactly.
he's like a little better than Tony Snell. Like, what do you mean?
Whoa! He
It's
has much more of a scoring bag than
It's
Tony Snell.
21 minutes against Washington, took 2 shots. Much better of a scoring bag, bro.
Different circumstance. These
No,
many guys know.
stop. But like, what are
He
you
can fill the Terrence
saying?
Davis role. He can fill
I
the Terrence
can't.
Davis
I
role.
can't. You're no. The Terrence.
He can fill the Terrence Davis role.
Stop.
15 shot attempts for Mo Harkless
I
tonight.
literally can't. I literally can't even.
Hey, Monday morning, we're going to be like, oh, how many shots did Mo Harkless take? What did he get? 30 bomb, 15 real-life shots.
Oh, I forgot you're not on this screen. I guess I'll leave the breakdown up then. I was going to do the final shot screen, but chat, right after this, I'm going to be in the rundfs.com VIP Discord. Echo. Yeah, Roger echoing. That's I didn't just yell echo because I have an Alexa. There we go.
Gotcha.
Alexa, play Despacito.
Despacito. Dun-dun-dun-dun. That's something about, I can't know that lyrics.
Yeah, no, it's anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the rundfs.com. Yo, Rod, so what is this echo? Mute yourself.
Still echo.
Yes.
Hold on, yeah,
Try and do a plug on the go home. But chat, if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, throw them at me in chat. I'll try and tackle them. For those of you that are out of here, all I ask you hit that thumbs up. Should be back Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Looks like next week during the first couple days, we might get some weird NFL showdown slates. We might be having 2 Monday night football games, something like that. But if you guys want to hang out with me a little bit longer or just want to test out the stuff for the next week or so, go to rundfs.com. Check out VIP memberships. There's a couple of passes there for you. I mentioned we have the Fantasy Cruncher value installed, but that year membership, I don't think that there's a lot better bang for your buck than this, especially if you're using Cruncher. You're minus 150 off of that. It's basically $500 to get you 12 months and a week of access for NBA, NFL, and baseball. So you get the rest of this NBA season, the beginning of next NBA season, same for NFL, and the entire baseball season. And then in the Discord, we have daily voice chats, pre-lock. I don't cover it professionally, but the community in there does play golf. They do play college football. My boy Jake's an esports aficionado. And then Smeezy, I'll try and get him set up this year again so that we can do NASCAR again. NASCAR's a grind as well. So we do have guys that play all the DFS sports. But I will cover professionally the NBA, baseball, and football approach. So go check that out. Get locked in there. Jump in that voice chat in the Discord. But let's go after some of these questions before we get out of here. Let's see where we're at on likes. We're at 85 likes. So 15 likes, man. That's all I'm asking for. So looking at the live chat here. Gun, don't be scared, Jam Kings. Let's go. Let's go. Arizona Drama says Tristan Thompson has power forward eligibility on Fanduel, only 4,300. I can get behind that for sure. What else we got? I've had TT locked in since this morning. Yeah, Roger, all on your own. Mo Harkless.
I mean, shout out TT doing his thing off the court.
Stu, hey, my boy Stu said it means Tony Snell with a better name. Harkless. Yeah, that's basically Harkless is Tony Snell. See, we're all about the no, it's not. It's not. Oh, you're crazy.
I don't realize how many big games Mo Harkless has had.
I don't think you realize how many non-games Mo Harkless has had. Like,
I mean,
what?
He's got a lot of big games too.
Does he? Like,
he
when?
Does. Type it. Mo Harkless, 30-minute DKP,
fam,
or whatever.
I don't think you understand how.
I'm telling you
how unproductive Mo Harkless is, as a player. But Mo let's just go. I don't know. Most. Jesus H. What do I even type here? Maurice Harkless, most DKP by game. Let's go last. I don't know, 100 games. No.
Yeah, do it up.
Let's do.
Let's see some big ones.
2 seasons. Let's go last 2 seasons. Since 2020-21, Mo Harkless has earned his most. So his highest scoring game in the last 2 years is 34 fantasy points.
That's cool.
He has
I'll take that all
1,
every day.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games of 29 or more. 6 games.
How many minutes you play those games?
29, 34, 26.
Exactly. You giving the minutes.
What do you mean, Raj? We're talking 2 seasons, bro. Like, what do you mean?
I know, but again, different situation here. Whatever.
I can't believe you're just still trying to make this work. It's not. Let's.
Mohawk's about to win 100K tonight,
bro. I moved it back for the last 4 seasons, and he has 7 games at 30 fantasy points or more. Like, you're so wrong that it hurts. There's
maybe
one.
I'm officially out.
All right. Well, that's not changing anything on Mo Harkless.
Mo Harkless.
Davon Mitchell out. All right, cool. Going over under 12.5 rebounds for J-Val. Let me go look at the player props for J-Val. Yeah, 12.5 is usually a little too expensive for me. But if I sort rebounds in the spreadsheet, most rebounds to least, where's J-Val at? 13 more likes, chat. 13. You can do it. You can do it. Put your click into it. I have him at 12.4, so that's about on the nose. Should we put Halliburton in the flex spot? Yeah, if you can afford any Kings, like if your lineup makes sense to put them in the flex spot, absolutely.
What do you want?
Usually I reserve, depending on the slate, I like to have power forward centers only in the flex spot. But yeah, if you like the thought of Halliburton today, have him in the flex spot, but also like know who your pivot is, right? At 56, 58 on DK, all those games are at the same time at 10, right? You're probably not going to get to that Utah game if you're anything like me, and it's a 2-hour gap between the Pelicans game. So at 5,800, what are you swapping to? I guess Beverly is an option. Maybe you 2v2 it to some of the Lakers. Maybe you put Norman Powell for now just to be safe, Jenna, and then if you felt like you wanted to, or Halliburton was available, you swap him down to Tyrese Halliburton. But yeah, it's if you can ever help putting a questionable player in the flex spot that is still worth having exposure to if he did play, yes, flex spot is definitely the answer. OU 2 fantasy points for Harkless. Self says, do you like Gabe Vincent as a value play today on FanDuel? Yeah, I don't see what, unless I guess Tyler Hero would be the wild card here. But if Hero's out, the answer is yes. Value might be a little bit of a stretch, right? I feel like his price has reached in a point. So Hero didn't go through shoot around. So I guess maybe we treat him a little bit closer to out. But Vincent is basically 5K. So I don't really consider that value. I still need close to 30 if possible. But I think it is possible, and the minutes should be there. So I think he's a solid play, but I don't necessarily think of him as a great value play. If Raj brings down a tournament with Mo Harkless' lineup, I'll donate $100 to this chat tomorrow. Raj is definitely not playing Mo Harkless tonight. He juiced it up. Did Raj leave, by the way? I think he left. I could be on the final screen. This guy. There we go. Yeah, Raj will definitely not be playing Mo Harkless. He's on one. What else did we have here? No Harkless equals 20 Snow. Yep. Mo Harkless, man. Put vodka down. It's too early. Tell him Marcus gonna buy. All right. I guess that's it, man. I appreciate you guys. Eagle Eye. What's up, Eagle Eye? Appreciate you. All the newbies in chat. Welcome. Tomorrow morning, chat. If you're looking for me, you can find me on the Osmo block. Disobeying the law. No, I don't know. Me and EMAC, I think, in the morning on Osmo NBA Strategy Show. I think it's at 9 Eastern. Don't quote me. But I will have some content over there. As far as this channel goes, the next live stream is going to be scheduled for Monday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. If you got anything else for me, twitter.com/gundackers, where you guys can reach out to me. I appreciate you guys gutting through this one with me. This illness, I pray, is gone by Monday. Hopefully. I want to get back to wacky shenanigans. Next week is the Christmas week. You guys might have more family around, but I'm going to do my best to cover every NBA slate that I can next week and get us into a winning Christmas day. I love the Christmas slate every year. Dave Jones says, oh, snap. I forgot to close out the call. Discord thinks I'm like illegally streaming music. David Jones says, hey Gun, do you suggest playing Kyle Lowry and Damian Lillard in FanDuel? I definitely like Damian Lillard's FanDuel price. Lowry's fine as well. If Hero did play, I would be a little bit trepidatious because I don't trust the Magic to really keep that game close, but Lowry has plenty of upside. And you gotta account for how much Middleton you might already expect to have. Jeremy says the key to winning tournaments tonight is not only the best plays in the Utah San Antonio game, maybe. All right, that's it, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm sorry I'm sick. Hopefully next week we're better, man. I love you guys. Crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. Where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. I knew this other screen would freeze. It was a matter of time. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. Fudge. So bad.